working out the length of the contract. There's going to be no issues working out the total value of the contract, where the lone issue remains, and it has blocked any deal from getting done, is in the guaranteed money on this particular deal. We've seen other teams guarantee pass rush deals for 3 years. We saw it with Max Crosby and the Raiders. We saw it with Myles Garrett and the Browns. We saw it with T.J. Watt and the Steelers. We're not seeing that currently in Cincinnati with the Bengals and Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson has been adamant that he's not going to play this year in the last year of his deal for $16 million, when that is well below the market for a player who last year led the NFL in sacks. He returned to Cincinnati on Monday and to the facility yesterday in an effort as good faith to jumpstart talks, to try to change the dialogue, because frankly it hasn't been going anywhere. They've been trying to get a deal done for the better part of 2 off seasons. So now we'll see with him there, with regular face-to-face discussions and encounters, if that can make any difference. But they need to figure out a way to get the guaranteed money resolved, or there's going to be no contract.
You know, Adam, of all the players you mentioned, to me, the one that's most germane is T.J. Watt. They're born within 2 months of one another, and over the last 2 years, Trey Hendrickson has outproduced Watt. So to me, his average per year at $41 million is very logical and well-founded relative to the market. And if you look at what Cincinnati's done from a team-building standpoint, it's very logical. They've paid T. Higgins, they've paid Jamar Chase. In their secondary between Dax Hill, DJ Turner, Cam Taylor-Britt, they are very young. When you have a young secondary, the best way to help them out, have a great pass rush. That really starts with Trey Hendrickson. Hopefully it ends for them with Jamar Stewart. But for this team to get to where they want to go, they absolutely need to get Trey Hendrickson. And to me, this market's defined. And after Watt got signed, I don't know what else they need to get in a room and get this thing hashed out.
I'm going to tell you what, Trey Hendrickson is just an awesome human. And how would you like to play with the quarterback that not only advocates for himself, but for every player who produces within that team? Yeah. Joe Burrow is saying, I want these guys to get paid, and I want those guys to get rewarded. Now, whereas he's a great teammate to have, he has to be an executive's largest headache, because when your best player continues to say, hey, front office, pay these dudes, right? It's a little bit difficult. But I love the fact that Mike T mentions this defensive backfield, because that still is young. His play has to step up. You think about a guy that was recruited as a safety out of high school, played nickel and safety at Michigan, and now he's going to be tasked with being a starting corner. Cam Taylor-Britt, who 2 years ago had one of the more exceptional years in the AFC at the cornerback position. He took a step back last year. You're going to need a guy like DJ Turner, a 4-2 burner, to also show up. And so there's so many pieces of this defense that have to step up for Al Golden, the new defensive coordinator, if they want to be competitive. But make no mistake about it, that starts with Trey Hendrickson. And now when you pair him with Jamar Stewart, who is in camp and signed, they could be a force up front, but it can't start unless that $16 million or that $16 million year is taken off the table and we see something in the upper 30s, then Trey Hendrickson will be sitting at home watching along with us.
Well, they're already in the upper 30s, RC, but it's again about the guaranteed money, and the Bengals have guaranteed the full contracts of Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, essentially. They haven't done that for anybody else, and we know how Joe Burrow feels about Trey Hendrickson, because he grouped them right in with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Trey Hendrickson. The Bengals didn't fully guarantee T. Higgins' deal, and I think that they would like Trey Hendrickson's deal to look a lot more in guarantees like T. Higgins than Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. But the fact of the matter is, Trey Hendrickson led the NFL in sacks last year. The last 2 years, he's had more sacks than just about any player in the National Football League. He's vital to the Bengals defense. So again, it comes back to figuring out what is the right guarantee. And Joe Burrow's contract would be a model. The Bengals don't want to go by that, but Trey Hendrickson would love to, obviously.
Yeah, by the way, the Bengals just need the defense to be average with Burrow in that offense. Since he had a 3-3 record when scoring at least 34 points last season, the rest of the NFL was a combined 76-5. I love that note. Great note from our researcher, Evan Kaplan. All right, quarterback Drake May spoke earlier today about incorporating some more quarterback runs into the Patriots offense this season.
I think at the end of the day, I'll make some plays kind of off schedule anyway, but mixing in the quarterback run game is is something I'm open to, and I think it's always tough when a defense has to cover that and keep that in mind. I think whatever they put me up to, I'm up for it. So I think it's they do a good job and coaches won some Super Bowls coaching the offense. So I'm kind of prepared for whatever.
Okay, I love this wrinkle for the Patriots. Adam, what are you hearing about how the Pats plan to use Drake May this season?
Listen, it's about having Josh McDaniels back as the offensive coordinator. So Drake May goes into his second year with a better understanding of what's expected of him. And he does that with an offensive coordinator that's going to help elevate his level of play. That's a winning combination for a team that also plans to run or lean on running the football with Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson, the rookie second-round draft pick from Ohio State. They went out and signed Stephon Diggs. They still could use more wide receiver help, but the elements are in place for an improved offense led by Drake May.
3 of their first 4 games are at home, too, by the way. Let's go to Tampa, where wideout Mike Evans spoke glowingly about the rookie receivers the Bucs added this offseason.
I've seen what I've expected to see from Emeka. Already a true professional. He's going to be an unbelievable playmaker and have a great career in this league. That's my guy, man. With the ball in his hands, crazy athlete. He catches the ball really well for a smaller guy, fast guy. There's a lot of smaller guys, they don't have the best hands, but he has really good hands. A lot of talent, a lot of humble guys, a lot of guys that, put in the work. And, like I said earlier in the offseason, this is definitely one of the most talented, if not the most talented receiver group I've been a part of. And I look forward to doing my part this year.
Ooh, shout out to Emeka Egbuka there. Mike T, do the Bucs have one of the best wide receiver rooms in the league in your mind?
Absolutely, and the axiom of win for today and develop for tomorrow really applies. Chris Godwin and Mike Evans win for today, develop for tomorrow. Oh, by the way, Jalen McMillan, who was an encouraging rookie last year, 37 catches. Emeka Egbuka, the all-time leading receiver in the history of Ohio State. And when you think about Baker Mayfield, guys, led the league with touchdown passes over the last few years with 69. 51 of them were in 11 personnel, meaning 3 receivers. I love this draft choice. I love the depth of this position room for this team.
Yeah, man, those Ohio State receivers, they're pretty good, aren't they? Let's go to Pittsburgh next, where T.J. Watt and Cam Hayward joined the Pat McAfee Show, gave Steelers fans some exciting thoughts to look forward to regarding new addition Jalen Ramsey to that defense.
He's a Swiss Army knife of our defense right now. You're going to see him playing every position. You're going to see him playing man. And anytime those guys lock down just for an extra half a second, we love it because it allows us to get to the quarterback.
Yeah, I think just with Jalen, it's not just what he does when the play is snapped, it's what he's doing before the play. His disguise, his level of professionalism is just on display for everybody. And so, like that first pick, Aaron threw to Patrick Queen, that was because of Jalen. So, seeing him out there, I'm excited to see what he's going to do this year.
Defensive folks always throwing the quarterbacks. I love it. RC, they had him into that pick, didn't they? Is playing Ramsey, RC, all over the field the best thing for him in this defense?
Well, I think that's what you're going to have to do. You already have Darius Slay and Joey Porter Jr. who can play the corner positions, and obviously Juan Thornhill and Deshaun Elliott at safety. But you can use Jalen Ramsey wherever you need him. He can still go out there and play on #1 wide receivers. He's a guy that can play in the slot, play the safety position, but he can also be utilized as the dime when you want to go with 6 defensive backs against 10 personnel or 11 on obvious passing downs. Jalen Ramsey is not only this extreme talent with these measurables that are off the charts, he's a veteran. He's an experienced player that's won a Super Bowl, and he's just done so many different things on top-level defenses, and I expect Mike Tomlin to utilize him in all of those ways.
Yeah, Ramsey wanted to do more in Miami, and now he gets that opportunity, seemingly. You like putting this versatility on display for him?
Yeah, absolutely. One other way to illustrate that is last year as a corner, he rushed the passer 36 times, which is unbelievable. So to RC's point, moving him around makes sense. It's something that he could do. He's a very good tackler.